Every AI agent demo you've seen is just a chat with extra steps. A real agent doesn't chat with you. It finishes a bounded job and leaves an audio trail you can inspect. Everything else is the same theater I called out last week, now just with a loading spinner. So here's the question this video answers. Why do those demos look magical and then die the moment they touch the real work? It's not the model. Let me show you what it actually is. It runs once on a clean, happy path input, with the founder sitting right there, steering, ready to nudge it back on the track the second it wobbles. Of course it looks magical. Now here's the production. The inputs are messy, the edge cases show up on a day 2, nobody's watching at 2 p.m. And being wrong has a cost, a customer, a dollar, a reputation. The agent didn't get dumber between the demo and production. The environment got honest. And this is the part almost nobody says out loud. The model was never your bottleneck. The undefined workflow was. Let me give you a simple test. If a person on your team cannot sit down and write out steps on the job, every branch, every if this then that, then an agent can't run it either. You didn't have a workflow, you have a vibe. And you can't automate the vibe. Let me give you the line I'd put on the sticker. Bad process plus AI still gives you bad process. Now it just runs at scale, faster, and you trust it less every time it breaks. Automating a workflow you cannot explain doesn't fix the workflow. It launders it. It takes your messy, undefined process and wraps it in something that sounds confident and authoritative. So now the mess has a clean voice and the fast response time. That's worse, not better. The order most people use is backward. They pick a model, wire up an agent, and hope the workflow emerges. It doesn't. You fix a process on paper first, where it's cheap to change, and the agent the last step, not the first. Every AI agent I've seen earn its keep in production sits on top of a job somebody took the time to define. The prompt was the last 20 minutes of the work. The definition was the months before it. So how do you know if a workflow is ready for an agent? 4 properties. Run your candidate through all 4 before you build anything. 1. Bounded scope. The job has edges. Draft replies to refund request under $50 is bounded. It's a job. Run my support is a mandate, not a job. Agents finish things with edges. They drown in open-ended mandates because there is nothing to finish. 2. A clear done state. You can define what finished and correct look like, precisely enough that a stranger could check the output and grade it. If you can't grade it, you can't trust it. You are just hoping. 3. A review point. Name the single checkpoint where human catches the mistakes cheaply, before it reaches a customer or a ledger. Early on, the agent drafts and the person approves. No checkpoint means no deployment. Full stop. 4. Tolerable error cost. When it fails, and it will, is the blast radius survivable and reversible? Bounded and reversible means it's safe to start today. Irreversible means you keep the human in the loop, no matter how good the model looks. Notice what's not on the list. Which model, which framework, which clever prompt. That's the easy 20%. The scoping is the 80% everyone skips. And it's exactly why their demos die. Now the part most agent vendors won't say out loud. Where this works today and where it quietly burns you. Agents genuinely earn their keep on job that are bounded, high volume, and reversible. And notice these are multi-step jobs, not a single task. A ticket pipeline that classifies, drafts the reply, and queues it for a human to approve. Lead enrichment that pulls from 3 sources and writes the CRM record. Invoice reconciliation across 2 systems that flags every mismatch instead of guessing. Whole jobs with edges and cheap undo. Automate those this quarter. Agents are dangerous on the opposite shape. Open-ended, irreversible, or accountability-heavy. Full autonomy support with no human. Run my ops. Unsupervised, outbound emailing your customers. When there is no edge and no undo, an agent doesn't save you time. It manufactures cleanup. And one thing that is never optional, the audit trail. If you can see why the agent did what it did, you don't have an agent that occasionally does your work. So why do agents demo die in production? Not because the model is dumb, because we hand them a job we never bothered to define. The agents that survive aren't the smartest. They are best scoped. Design the job, not the prompt. Give it edges, a done state, a review point, and a cheap undo. And suddenly, the boring agent quietly runs half your busy work, while everyone else still debugging their demos. Next week, what happens to all of this when AI gets 10 times cheaper? The price war nobody's planning for, and what I would build differently because of it. But first tell me in the comments, what's one job you trust an agent to finish end-to-end, and one you never would? The line between those two is the whole game, and I read every answer.